All right, good morning, everybody. Wanted to record this video. It's a weekend tutorial. Feel free to start using these candle methods. This brand new candle method I'm going to introduce to you guys. Now, this is one. It is called Ashi Candles. So far, most of you guys understand regular candles, right? I mean, a green candle opens low, closes high. A red candle opens high, closes low, and upper wicks is a high price. Lower shadows are the low price. Okay. Now, I want to kind of do some comparison with you guys. And the reason I'm doing this video is because, well, number one, the market's been really choppy, right? So if we use regular candles, it is a good thing. However, it doesn't help us identify trends. And the Heiken Ashi candles does. And I'm going to show you guys how that works. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to go over to my what's it called? TrendSpider, and kind of show you how that works. Okay, so if you guys are used to regular candles, so I've been using mostly candles most of my trading life. Sometimes I use the Heiken Ashi candles, but here, because of the choppiness of the market, I want to start introducing to you guys this type of method. So I'm just going to go over to the 5-minute chart and compare it with regular candles versus the Heiken Ashi candles. So when you're in a trade, and like me, right, you're staring at the chart, you're looking at every single movement. If you look at this chart, right, I mean, obviously hollow candles or deep red candles are obviously on a 5-minute chart are very significant in terms of the downtrend. And then we start getting choppy, right? Especially in this area where you have high wicks and low wicks. And things just don't really, you cannot identify a trend. If you start the morning like today on QQQ on the 5 minutes on the left-hand side of your screen here, you can see that there was like a lot of choppiness, a little bit of bull flag, and it finally broke out. Okay. Now with the Heiken Ashi candles, what it's good for is that it helps you identify strong uptrends and strong downtrends as well. Okay. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and stop share here, and I'm going to go back to the formula of how that works, of how the Heiken Ashi candles work. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. So I'm back here, and you see that the Heiken Ashi candle is not simply based on the current candle, open or close price, high price, low price. What it actually does is if you see a let's say, for example, this is a green candle we're talking about. The open price, okay, of that candle is half of the previous open price and the previous close price. So what they do is they add these two together divided by 2. Okay, so you get an average. The close price is only a quarter of the open, close, high, and low of the current bar. Okay, I know this formula kind of will take a little bit to get used to. The high wick and the low wick is a little bit different. Max, the upper wick is the current bar, open, close, high. Okay, multiplied by the highest of any of these, which is any of these values. Okay, and the low price or the low wick is current bar, open, close, low, lowest of any of these values. Okay, now if I go ahead and switch back, I'm going to stop share here, and I'm going to go back to my TrendSpider here, and bada bing, bada boom. Okay, press share. Okay, now you can see that these two charts are the same but very different looking, right? What you want to look out for is obviously on this 5-minute chart, we do see a strong uptrend. Of course, in retrospect, we can always identify a strong trend, right? But how do you identify a strong trend on the upside with Heiken Ashi candles? And the first thing you do is that you identify it by these Heiken Ashi candles with no lower wicks. You can see that these 5 candles or 6 candles, 30 minutes of price action, okay, was very strong. No lower shadows. Upper shadows is okay, all right, but what you're looking for is strong green candles, very long filled candles. Now, if you compare that to this 5-minute chart using regular candles, you have a lot of chop, right? Small green candle, large green candle, small one, lower wick, a red one, a big green one, et cetera, et cetera. You can see that during this, let's say this reversal doji, we can count the candles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And from this reversal doji, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles, while this one has one red candle. So it kind of throws you off, right? So what we want to do is identify a strong trend. Of course, you could still use EMA cloud. You could still use pattern recognition, bull flag, all that. That still absolutely applies to Heikin Ashi candles. However, what we're looking for is strong trends. So you can see that it pulled back here. Okay. Now you're going to notice this little two candles here, this two pullback candles. What one was green and one was red on the regular candles, while these ones signal still a pretty strong move on the upside. Now, what you want to be careful with is, of course, when the upper shadows gets very, very long, then it's kind of time to scale back the trade if you are in a long call position, for example. And of course, the lower the upper the high long low wicks definitely represents it could be time for a pullback. But of course, we knew that 5 minutes later it continued in a strong uptrend. But you want to scale out of positions from a profitable positions. Now, going into the rest of this afternoon, you can see that these 4, 5 wicks here, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the after hours, very, very strong. So look at these these 5 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, all with 0 lower shadows. So this, if we apply this, it can help us identify that the movement of the stock or whatever equity is still in a long, is still in a nice bull run and a very strong uptrend. Okay. Now, how do we use this for strong downtrends? You will notice that here is just like this right here. Remember this chop this morning? It lasted for a good hour or so, hour and a half. Right here, a lot of chop, right? Upper shadows, lower shadows. Okay. A lot of indecision. All right. So yes, you could call this kind of a bear flag, and it actually worked out quite well. So in these situations, you'll need to use or stay out of the trade, number one, or use some type of pattern recognition to identify, okay, look, this looks like a bear flag. So we knew it was a bear flag, right? And then once the downtrend started, you can see huge or very long candle bodies, Heikin Ashi candle bodies that are significantly red. And here obviously was a reversal. But here's where indecision starts taking place. You will notice that here you have an inverted hammer. Okay, so that's a good indicator that a trend reversal might be coming. And here you'll notice that the red candle is very small compared to all of these candles here. So therefore, it represents some type of indecision, and boom, it went on the upside. Now, if I were to compare this to, let's say, yesterday, all right, let's take a look at yesterday's downside reversal. All right, you can see that the good part of the morning was really cool, right? I mean, damn, I mean, it went, it pumped to 351. And then look at these red Heikin Ashi candles started to present itself. Yes, there are lower shadows, which is fine, but what you're looking for in a strong downtrend is no upper shadows on the red candle, Heikin Ashi candles. If I compare this to yesterday's movement, let me go ahead and scroll back to yesterday. Where are we? We are here today. I need to turn on the, there we go. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, right there. All right, here we go. Okay, so you can see this drop, 5-minute candles, big long candlesticks. Obviously, that's, obviously very, very good, right? But see, some of you guys might be stopped out right here on this candle because it did a bounce, right? And then you can still use EMA clouds, etc. Big red candles down. While this one is a pretty nice pattern, right? It showed you a strong lower candle. These candles have no upper shadows all the way down. So what this basically does, guys, it helps you stay in the trade a little longer, and it can help you identify the puts, where to stay in the put, where to get into the put, and where to exit the put, and where to get into calls. You are looking for no low shadows, no upper shadows on the downside, no lower shadows on the upside. Okay. Now, if we were to apply this, I'm just going to go ahead and flip over to the daily chart. Okay, let's see, daily chart on the QQQ. All right. And we can see that it is pretty choppy, right? I mean, you have 5 candles here. You got a big red body, and hey, all of a sudden we got this big old green body, right? Now, this would be hard to identify what could potentially be the trend going forward. Now, if I were to take this and apply it to Heiken Ashi candles, now we go into the daily chart here and compare this. We can still see, right, up until about Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, it was very, very strong downward movement. So this can possibly help us to go into a longer put, all right? And you can continue to use a 5-minute chart to scalp. But here's the thing that we're starting to signal reversal. You'll notice that the red candles are getting smaller. This one a little bit bigger because yesterday I think it dropped on some news. But today's candle obviously signals some type of reversal doji. Look at this. This is a long upper shadow, long lower shadow, and a very small candle body versus this candle body is very green. So this candle can tell us, okay, well, let's go ahead and be bulls, right? I mean, this is an engulfing candle pattern. But what this is telling you is that this may be an indecision point, okay? You're starting to see a lot more shadows appear upper and lower. Therefore, it's indecision. Does it mean that we are on a strong uptrend? And of course, this says no. But if you are reading regular candles, this says, yeah, let's go be bulls on Monday. This is telling you to be careful because it can still break down to the left side or downside or the right side or the upside up. But you can still use pattern recognition. Elliott wave still counts, obviously. EMA still counts. Volume still counts. ATR and all the things I've teach you guys over the past several months. Those things, a pattern still obviously applies, all right? Bull flag still apply. Bear flag still apply. All of that, okay? But the point of this video is to show you guys another way by using this method to identify strong uptrends so we can get in on better trades and exit at a better time. So if I were to, let's just go over to SPY, okay, just to compare. SPY, big old engulfing candle, boom. All right, well, it's time to be bull. But here we go. You have a very long doji, unrecognizable. This is what we call purely indecision. This is signaling bullish in movement. This is signaling, hey, let's just sit back and see what happens over the next few days. So let me go ahead and go over to the 5-minute chart just so you guys can see how the Heiken Ashi candles work. Again, very strong uptrend after the morning quick dips. Okay, you're starting to see these candles, these long, low, no shadow candles started to appear. Strong uptrend, exit. Okay, and when we start seeing no upper shadows, maybe 1 or 2 candlesticks, 5-minute candlesticks with no lower shadows, I think it might be a good time to get into some long puts. Indecision, let's go ahead and exit. All right, especially when it just hangs out at the clouds. And then, of course, this no upper shadow, strong trend on the downside reversal, and boom, very nice movement on the SPY on the 5-minute chart. Easier said than done. Obviously, in retrospect, everything's easier said than done. So go ahead and whether you're in Webull or TrendSpider or TradingView, they all have the Heiken Ashi candles. You can apply it to the 5-minute, daily, etc. But since we're here, let's just go ahead and take a look at Tesla for fun, right? Tesla hammer on the daily, okay, with regular candles. That's what most people understand that as. And then if we go over to Heiken Ashi, you have a pretty strong downward trend. Okay, so this is giving us 2 very different stories. Okay, let's go and take a look at Amazon since we're here. All right, hammer candle. More likely some type of a doji here, indecision in the marketplace. Let's go ahead and let's just look at VIX since we're here. All right, VIX. Okay. All right, downtrend, obviously. All right. Here signals more indecision than a downtrend. So VIX, well, the red body is larger for sure. Okay, so there was good downtrend today, but still indecision. All right. So let's go ahead and just examine a couple of your other, let's just say AMDs. I know some of you guys love Amd Hammer Reversal on the daily. Looks fantastic. Yeah, this would signal a lot of bullish movement, but you can see today's movement actually didn't do much. You still have a very long lower shadow. Not only that, you have no upper shadow. So this could mean that AMD is still on a very strong downtrend. So only Monday and Tuesday next week will tell, since AMD is reporting on Tuesday, PayPal and Google, Thursday, Amazon, PayPal Wednesday, I think. No, something like that. Look at the earnings calendar. All right. So with that being said, I hope you guys